happy St. Patrick's Day, or, well, I believe I'm posting this before St. Patrick's Day, but either way, happy St. Patrick's Day. So obviously today's video is a tutorial. I'm going to show you how to create this eye look right here. I hope you like it. It's a little different than the one that I created last year, but I did use some similar shadows. So hopefully if you have those shadows, and even if you don't, you can recreate this look. Seriously, anytime I do tutorials, you guys, do not think that you need to have the exact same things that I'm using. I made that mistake when I first started getting into makeup, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to have that, or you know, oh, it's not going to look the same. And you can work with what you have to create so many looks that are similar, but then they've got a unique touch from you. So I just wanted to mention that because I know I've been coming out with a lot of tutorials. I mainly do tutorials and reviews, so just keep that in mind. But obviously if you like a product I'm using and you want to go buy it, that's awesome. And I do oftentimes, if I can, add them to my Amazon store or give you a link. So hopefully that's helpful. Before I go on and on, you guys want to see this tutorial, so let's start into it. Alright guys, so you know I like to do my eye makeup first usually, which is why I don't have any other makeup on besides my eyebrows. So we're going to go in with my handy dandy Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer to prime the eyes. I use this all the time. It's one of my favorites as an eye base. It also says on the bottle that this is vegan, so if that's something you look for, I'd suggest checking it out. I use the shade Light Ivory because I'm pretty fair, but just pick a shade that's as similar to your lid color as you can find. You could also use an eyeshadow primer if that's easier for you. So I'm going to show you how I do my lids, and then I will put the rest of my makeup on and we'll go to the lower lash line. Last year I did more of a green toned St. Patrick's Day look, and this year I wanted to do gold but also have a hint of green as well. But I wanted to focus more on having like a orangey pot of gold kind of look, which we're actually going to be using an eyeshadow called Pot of Gold. For this next step, you can grab whatever neutral tone shadow you have. I'm grabbing one from my Lorac Pro palette right there because I am trying to pan it, but pick whatever works for you. Try to find a color that's very similar to the concealer, or even if you just use an eyeshadow primer, just use a color that's as close to your skin tone as possible. So I'm going into the shade Cream right here, and I'm taking it on a fluffy brush and I'm just patting all over my lid. And the reason I'm doing this, and I've said it a million times before, is I like to set down the concealer, and it makes the next shadows that you put on top just blend a lot smoother because they have a nice powdered base to blend on versus right on your skin or right on a concealer. It honestly makes such a huge difference. I remember before, when I first started makeup and I just used an eyeshadow primer and put my makeup right on top, I was like, why is this not looking right? It'll help. And again, just take any type of neutral taupe-ish brown color you have. I'm going to take this one right here called Taupe on a, what is this, Morphe M433. And I'm just going to run some of that through my crease, sort of up to my brow. And after these two shades, I'm going to hop into some eyeshadows from Divina, because it's been a while since I've incorporated some Divina shadows into a tutorial. I think I used them in my last St. Patrick's Day tutorial, so I thought it'd be a nice time to bring them back again and use them. If you haven't heard of Divina Cosmetics before, I recommend checking out their website. They have a ton of eyeshadows, highlighters. They're all individual eyeshadows, so you can create your own custom selection of what eyeshadows you might be missing in your collection. But I'm just sort of creating a shadow on my eye, and this brush does a nice job of diffusing it as well, so it's not super harsh. Alright, so now we're done with that palette. Again, use whatever shades you have in your collection. So as you can see, I have a lot of single eyeshadows in this palette right here, and the first one we're going to go into is from Divina. It's one of their matte shades, and it's called Anastasia. Hopefully you could see that. If not, it's right here. I'm going to use the same exact brush and just go over where I put the taupe shade. So this is a really nice pale yellow that I think adds to the gold look. I'm pretty sure I used this in my crease for last year too. I feel like my channel has come such a long way since last year, and I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are enjoying the content that I'm putting out, and if you're not, always let me know what you guys want to see. It just blends so nicely into that taupe color. And I'm sort of focusing it a bit lower as well. It builds up really nicely. The Divina mattes are a little bit on the powdery side, so just be aware of kick up if you do end up getting one of these shades or checking out their products. I know a lot of people will do green looks, so I thought I'd again do something a little different. And if you're going to be wearing something green, maybe you may not want to wear a ton of green in your eyeshadow. That's my thought process anyway. I could totally be wrong. Now I'm taking my Sephora Pro Small Shadow Brush. I think it's number 15. Yes, number 15. We're going to go into the shade Cleopatra. I'm not going to wet it, but you could. But see how beautiful that is without having any other spray on it to make it wet? It just, oh, such a beautiful shadow. I've really been loving the Sephora brush too because it's great to put on the lid, but it also works really well just to kind of sweep through the crease. Oh my gosh, I say kind of all the time in my videos. I'm so sorry. I don't realize it until I'm editing. And then I'm like, girl, what are you doing? And I'm honestly just sweeping this everywhere. All over the lid. So smooth too. And I'm packing on a lot because it will fade a little bit as we add on more shadows and blend. So you'll see I'm just layering a lot up front. Then I'm just going back into Anastasia really quick and blending that edge so it's not as harsh. We'll do this again probably as well, because we're going to add a color to the outer corner, under the brow, inner corner, middle of the lid. It's not a super difficult look to do though. I'm so scared I'm going to drop these eyeshadows. I'm going into ByeFelicia using my Mikasa E310. And I'm just going to sweep a tiny bit of that in the outer corner. Not a ton because I don't want this look to be super red. But it just adds a little more oomph to that outer third of the eye. And I'm just going to blend a little bit with that same Morphe brush from before. Just a tiny bit. So it's just a little added color, not anything super bold. I'm going to take my Morphe M124 into Oracle. And this is going right in the inner corner of the eye. This also makes a really pretty all over the lid shade. Under the brow. How pretty is that? And back into Anastasia again, just to blend further. Add some more yellow up towards the brow. Then we're going into this Tarte shadow. I mentioned Pot of Gold before. That's what this is called. It's one of their chrome paint shadow pots. And I'm just going to take some of that onto my finger and pat it right in the center of the lid. It's going to look really bold at first. Might even add some on this side. Then just to blend it out, we'll go back into Cleopatra. And pat it on both sides. Sort of wiggle it with the brush. That way it's still there, but not as intense on the lid. If you want, you could definitely keep it more intense. But I'm just toning it down a tiny bit because we will be adding the green as well. And that's it for the first part of the lid. So I'm going to go throw on the rest of my makeup and I will be back and show you how to do the lower lash line. I'm using a NYX Cosmetics NYX Faux Black Liner in Black Olive, I believe it's called. Yes, Black Olive. I'm just bringing it into my waterline. I feel like you guys can never see that, but if I go like this, then I can't see what I'm doing and then it'll poke my eye out. I like these a lot. They tend to last in the waterline pretty well. I'll even smudge a little bit on the area closer to the lashes, just to get a little more green to show. And make sure to get that outer corner. Then we're going back into Anastasia, that yellow matte shade, on a Morphe M432. And we're going to line right underneath. In order to tie your looks in together from what's on the top of the lid, you want to bring in a few shades down below as well. It's not completely necessary, but I find myself doing it and it seems to work for most of my looks. I just like grabbing at least 1 or 2 shades from the lid crease area. Then we're going to take this flat BH Cosmetics brush, very similar to the last brush I just used. This one was in a set that I had. Their brushes are awesome if you're looking for some beginner brushes. I will link my favorite brush sets from them down below in the description. We're going to take the shade Odium from Divina Cosmetics, and with the BH brush, I'm just going to press it right under the liner. This is going to make any of that liner that went on the lashes last a little longer, or not on the lashes, but in that general area, and add more green, because we do have to have a little green in this look. Move your brush back and forth really lightly to bring it up towards the inner corner, and then I'm just going to go back into that yellow shade again and add any underneath. And then we'll take that highlight shade from before, just touch up the inner corner again, and bring some right into this lower corner. When I was doing my foundation, I took a makeup sponge and took my foundation sort of in a line across to cut out this edge here, but I don't want it to be too bold, and I really want to make sure it's connected to this lower corner here. So I like to just take this clean brush and swirl and just sort of buff out that edge. And that's pretty much the look besides mascara, so let me throw some on. We're curling the lashes. This is an optional step if you want to. And I'm using the Total Temptation mascara from Maybelline. I really like this look, and I think it's a little more unique than wearing just green on the lid. So you get that pretty gold. I'm not a super huge gold jewelry fan, I prefer silver, but these earrings have a little touch of gold in them, so you could wear some gold jewelry or rose gold to look really pretty too. And I totally forgot that I put Cleopatra, that orangey shade, in the outer corner on the other eye. So I'm just adding that in really quick after putting my mascara on. Thank you guys so much for checking out this St. Patrick's Day inspired tutorial. You don't have to do it just for St. Patrick's Day. Maybe you just really like gold and green tones. I don't know. I hope you like it. I tried to do a little bit of a halo eye type of situation. I think it's really pretty. I hope you like it too. And you guys are amazing. I know I say that every video, but you truly are. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I might have already said that. You guys know. That's how my mind works. I will say things all out of order. But if you like my content, I do come out with new videos every week. So please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.